Hey all, welcome. Just giving a few minutes for the live stream to get set up. Welcome again. We have Adriel here with us from Unstoppable Domains, and he's going to give you a workshop on login and identity. I'll let you take the stage.
Thank you. Appreciate it. You can hear me okay? Perfect. All right. Thanks, Vici, and thanks everyone for having us. I'm Adriel. I'm a product manager at Unstoppable Domains, and today we'll be sharing our login with Unstoppable product. But before getting into that, let's get you jump started towards earning some rewards. So as part of this hackathon, we're asking you to integrate login with Unstoppable on your app or to submit a PR to merge this feature as a login option on your favorite DeFi or NFT dApp. Now we're giving away prizes for the top 3 uses of login, as well as some general prize pool giveaways. And that's for qualifying teams. All right. So the QR codes and the links here on the right are what you need to get started right away. So feel free to check them out. All right, so I'll be sharing that information a little later in the talk too, before I forget. So you'll get to see that in a little bit. But before diving into what login is and why it's important, I think it helps to talk about what we do at Unstoppable Domains. So at Unstoppable, we envision a future where people benefit from the value they create online, not just companies. All right, and to help shape that future, we're building products that return the power to the people. All right, so we work to give you the right to control your data, govern your data, and ultimately make your own choices with that data. All right, so our products, the way that we consider our products is that they combine to form the foundation for an identity system for Web3. All right, and at our core are NFT domains, which work to simplify crypto payments. So with our domains, what we've done is basically replaced hard to remember cryptocurrency addresses with a human readable name. So think about that. No more forgetting or mistyping an address. You've got a human readable domain that you own. It's not rented like other domains. And the domain is stored in your wallet, just like a cryptocurrency. All right, so now that you've got the domain, what do you do with it, right? What's next? Now you can now send, receive, and store cryptocurrencies and NFTs with that easy to remember domain. And you can also use that domain to log into apps and websites, which we'll spend the bulk of our time today talking about logging with Unstoppable. But aside from that, you can also set up gallery style websites for your NFTs and build your own profile pages, which allow you to share your information across social media and Web3. Of course, you being the owner of your information and how you share it, which I think is a good way of kind of segueing into data and owning data. Right now, we're in a predominantly centralized world where Web2 apps own all user data. As you can imagine, there are a number of challenges that come along with that. So one big issue that we see is, and that we've all experienced really, is having to start from scratch every time we adopt a new app or innovation. Basically, what it comes down to is that our network and reputation just doesn't come with us, right? And what we're doing, what we're working on, is to build a world where the user can bring not just themselves, right, but their data, the data to help better shape that experience on these new apps. Now, so how are we getting there? Well, we see login with Unstoppable as a great first step towards the promise of decentralized identity. All right. What it does is it helps mobilize the power of our domains. So all the capabilities that are currently available with your domain, and that ones will continue to build out and improve upon, will help you as you own your Web3 identity. All right. Now, before getting into how login works, let's talk a little bit about the benefits. I think we should start with dApps. So dApps are able to provide their users simple and easy authentication, okay? They can request personal data the user owns to provide a customer or customized experience rather. Now that same permission data can be used to better engage with the user. So it provides you a way to have or an opportunity for you to have one-to-one communication. And on top of that, it's very simple and safe to use, which is, has a number of big pluses. And one that we like to call out is that it frees dApps from having to maintain a database of user profile information, right? So, and we touched upon this a little bit earlier here, but when it comes to the user benefits, users enjoy the benefit of a privacy-forward, universal sign-up and login experience across all applications, right? And they 100% own, I should say, and control their identity and data. Okay, so let's get into login. And we'll start by showing an example of how you can implement it using a partner app integration. What you're seeing is the Cook Finance app. We welcome you to visit their app using the QR code at the bottom right of this slide, or by going directly to cook.finance. All right, so once a user clicks on sign in, they see the Unstoppable domains as an option for login. Once they click on that button, they are presented with the modal to enter their human readable name. All right. Clicking continue takes them to the screen where they connect with the wallet associated with that domain. After confirming their account, they are shown what data the current app is requesting. You see that in yellow there. After choosing to connect, they're logged in. And you can see they're logged in because their domain is at the top right corner. So effectively, your domain is your username. All right. Now, as we shared earlier, we're going to continue to look for ways to improve our products. And Humanity Check is the latest addition to our login product. And I think the simplest way of relating Humanity Check is that it's a way for people to verify their online identity without having to reveal anything about themselves to the applications and services that they use. All right. So how does Humanity Check work? First off, users can access Humanity Check through the domain profile page that's included on our website. Right, so it's a part of our website. Once they log in, they can get to the domain profile page, and I'll show that in a little bit. But they can also access it through the login experience. Now, it's important to note, while they can always access Humanity Check through domain profiles, an app needs to support Humanity Check in order for it to be included in the login experience. So as you become onboarding and configuring your implementation of login, you can choose Humanity Check at that point. Now, the identity verification process is managed by our partner Persona. All right, and Persona requests a series of photos and images during that process. They use these images to verify the person is who they claim to be, and then the final verification and sign, they finalize it by verifying and signing the message with your wallet. Also part of that verification process, Persona generates a random ID number, and it's that random ID that is what's passed to Unstoppable and the app. So nothing more. And we'll talk about this a little bit more, but really the random ID is all that's being surfaced and passed along as part of this process. And at the end of the day, it basically equates to a pass or fail, human or not. All right. Okay, so let's see how that looks like for the user. As mentioned earlier, a user can access Humanity Check either through their domain profile or through login. On this slide, you see on the bottom left, there's an image that shows how that confirmation looks like for a user once they've passed Humanity Check. All right, but let's go through the process. Once they've selected to go through Humanity Check, they're guided through a series of steps. All right, and that first step is it starts with what country their government ID is from. Next, they are then provided a list of photo ID options to choose from. In this case, we've chosen driver's license. They're prompted to provide a photo of the front of that driver's license. Once they've uploaded that, they're asked to confirm the quality of the photo. And once they're happy with the quality of the photo, they're requested for a selfie. All right, now there are a couple of prompts that they'll follow to scan the user's face. And after following the prompts, they're given a confirmation message and prompted to complete verification. As I mentioned earlier, I want to pause right here actually, because I want to restate that neither Unstoppable or the app that's requiring Humanity Check ever see or collect this personal information, right? And a user can always choose to request that their data be deleted. So they can reach out to us. We have a couple different ways for that to happen, but wanted to re-emphasize that again, the random ID is all that's being passed, not this information. Okay, login provides a couple of key features that we've kind of talked about, but as an app, you'd like to access some of that data to better engage with the user. Well, here's a high-level overview of the scopes that we support through login. Admittedly, the list is currently short, but we do have plans and we're actively working on expanding them. All right, and those are updates that are going to come sooner than later. On the right, you get a view of how the scopes are requested of the user during the login process. And as I mentioned, those scopes will grow over time and will help to shape the user's identity, especially as they go from app to app. They will own and manage their data through their domain profile. So let's talk a little bit more about that domain profile. Here's an example of a user's domain landing page. All right, this is a publicly available page that's available through our ud.me portal. All right, and what it's showing is this particular user, what information they've chosen to share publicly. And if you want to go see her page, you can use that QR code there at the bottom right for one of the more later examples. All right. Now, they manage that information through their Unstoppable Domains account by updating their domain profile. Included in that domain profile is their email address, if they choose to share that, as well as their social accounts. And this is what we're looking at updating, but at least you get a feel for what we have available today. All right. All right, so at a high level, we've shown you how it works, but I figure you'll want to start integrating with login already. I know we provided some information at the top of the call, but I wanted to talk about the steps that you need to take to get integrated. And to do so, like I said, there's a couple of simple steps. The first is to get your client credentials, and that's through a dedicated client dashboard. You also then choose your integration path. We've got a number of different guides available. They include with and without pop-up, Web3 React, Web3 Modal, BNC onboarding, and Node.js as well. All right. Once you've chosen your integration path, we show you how you can configure the login UI. And to make sure you get the right visibility to your application and for integrating the login, we also want you to connect with us to help promote your application, right? Now at the far right there, again, we've got a QR code that will take you directly to the login technical docs so you can get started right away. All right, let's see here. All right, so again, you can get all that information through the technical docs, but we did want to, in a way, kind of connect the dots for you all with an easy to follow flow so you get an understanding what's happening in the background as your users are going through the login experience. So like we showed in the Cook Finance example, a user first chooses to log in with their domain. All right, so they type in their domain once they've chosen that login option. The app does a lookup of that domain to the blockchain, which then returns the owner address along with the auth server URL. All right, the user is then redirected to the auth server URL, who then requests a signature. And once the signature is completed, the auth server returns the auth token and resource server URL. What the app then does is use that auth token to request metadata from the resource server, which then returns the metadata to the app. And all that ends with the user finally being logged in. Okay. So yes, there's a couple different steps that need to happen in order for this to be completed, but as we showed earlier, the experience for the user is pretty seamless. And we're always looking for ways to improve that too, right? Minimize the number of clicks, et cetera. And for you as an integration partner, you have a number of integration options, as we mentioned earlier, and ways to connect with us in the community to help support you, all right? Okay, I'm gonna move forward now and get into some FAQs. Let's start with some login FAQs. To start with, login is free. It's free to use and free for apps to integrate. We also have a number of ways to help you integrate and promote login. So again, we really encourage you to reach out to us for guidance. Another common question is around how we're different from wallets. It's logging in with Unstoppable is different from logging in with wallet for a few key reasons, right? One, it's using your human readable domain. Okay, so it's not a complicated wallet or account number. Two, users and apps can choose how to share their off-chain data, which is not available through a wallet. And three, your identity and login is associated with your NFT domain. So you can transfer it to a different wallet in the future if you happen to choose to, all right? Some more questions. We're continuing to improve the user experience, which includes how they choose the information they want to share with each app. I gave you a view of the current domain profile page, but we have plans to introduce additional metadata that users can share, and of course, how that apps can access in order to enrich their experience. Lastly, users currently cannot create accounts or acquire a domain through the login experience, but I can say we're actively working on adding this ability. So I'd stay tuned. It's something that's definitely in the works, and we should be providing an update on that relatively shortly. All right, I'm going to move on to some humanity check FAQs. Kind of touched upon this earlier, but when it comes to a user's personal data, so our identity verification partner stores the images and data used to verify, and the random ID created during verification is off-chain. But again, as we highlighted, Unstoppable and the apps that are requesting verification do not have access to the personal data. We only have access to the randomized ID. Okay. And lastly, for us to be fully decentralized, we need an identity verification partner that is decentralized. So while that currently is not available, we are definitely open to opportunities to work with new partners, having a lot of discussions, and we actively welcome suggestions from the community. Again, join our Discord. We want to hear from you. If you've got ideas, definitely we want to talk to you. Okay, so before we wrap up, I wanted to share some testimonials from both users and partner apps. The users that I'm showing here in particular are calling out some interesting use cases for Humanity Check. They include helping to support rewards programs, something we're hearing a lot of interest around. There's also been buzz around using Humanity Check for NFT marketplaces, where creators can be verified. That's another one we're hearing a lot about too. And here are two partner testimonials from Cook Finance and Atlantis World. There's a lot going on here, but I think the main takeaway here is that for DeFi, Login and Humanity Check make it easier to onboard users and to ensure that you can meaningfully engage with them, right? With your most important users. Those are two key things that have been called out from those that have integrated. Okay, I'm gonna come, all right, so yeah, back to why we're all here, right? So as part of this hackathon, we're asking you to integrate with Login on your app or to submit a PR to merge this feature as a login option, again, for your favorite DeFi or NFT dApp. So what we're doing is giving away prizes for the top 3 users, again, of Login, as well as have some general prize pool giveaways for those teams that qualify. Definitely reach out to us for more details. And again, the QR codes and the links here on the right are what you need to get started right away. So feel free to check them out and also to reach out to us if you have any questions. All right. Last but not least, I wanted to provide you some credit to buy and try out your own NFT domain, excuse me. We ask that you join the conversation on our Discord community, as well as the one that ETH Global has set up for this hackathon, and to follow us on Twitter. We've got great content and engagement through all these different channels, and we want to make sure we get your feedback, right? So please reach out to us. And if you have questions specifically on how to best partner with us, I've added Charlie and Ash's information here at the bottom. Please feel free to reach out to them. They're great resources, as well as I am, right? That's all that I've got for us today. Thank you for having us, and definitely open to hearing your questions.
Thanks, Adriel. There is some questions in the chat there if you want to take a look.
All right. How are fake? Sorry, I'm just looking through them right now. So this first one around. So this question around persona. Yeah, it's just thanks, Charlie. I was just starting to read into that. That is correct. Your assumptions around persona. So I'll read out the question. Persona can confirm your identity, and then you can request all the information that was used to establish your identity be deleted, so that no one, including persona, can ever have access to that. That is correct, right? Again, that random ID is all that we need at Unstoppable, as well as the app that's asking for that to confirm your identity. It's just basically a pass or fail. So we've got a couple different wallets that users can use with our domains. And a MetaMask is one of the major ones that we have. Charlie, I don't know if we have a full list somewhere that we can share with folks, but I know we've got that across the board. Thank you. So how are fake accounts prevented, like registering and posing as someone with social media accounts? Yeah, that's a great question. I'm not sure how specifically we have any fail checks or within the process to keep fake accounts from being created. But I do know that we have ways of I'm sorry, did Charlie answer something? Yeah, there is a verification process within the domain flow. So yeah, that same domain profile that I shared with you earlier, when you're entering in that information, there's a verification process in there. Question around, could one person have multiple identities? I guess I'm trying to understand what that's asking there. Is this in reference to the humanity check? Yeah, so humanity check is tied to, yeah, one single domain, one government ID. So thanks for answering that. But you can have multiple domains, but you have only one account, right? And so that's where the humanity check is tied to. As the owner of the persona account, how are you able to avoid accessing the dashboard containing the user data? As the owner of the persona account? I guess I'm not following this question. I'm sorry, guys. So if a user verification does not pass, then yeah, we get pass fail. So we either know that you're verified or not, and that's all the app would know. Yeah. So yeah, that domain dashboard that we showed you earlier, we do not get any of that information from Persona. So none of the information they use to verify is going to be accessible through your UD profile. Yeah. Yes. So the domain profile really is what you've added there. It's not specific to humanity check. Again, that's only on Persona servers. Right. A lot of questions on humanity check, which is great. Let me see. Do I have this here? Just wanted to share that if I did add some information in here, which in the deck she'll get access to, where we talk about persona, excuse me, definitely welcome you to look more into what we've got available here. There you go. Yeah, right here on Humanity Check, on the FAQs for Humanity Check, we provide details on persona and how that works on that QR code here there on the left. All right. And definitely encourage you guys again to reach out to us. Here are, again, the instructions for how you can get started with integration. There's Charlie's Telegram. Feel free to reach out to us directly there through the Discord, our Discord community, as well as through the Hackathon's Discord as well. Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Adriel. I'll see you at the next workshop.
All right. Take care.